Now let's add lines that run across the body, that is edge loops that run across the body. For this I will use our normal edge loop tool, that is insert edge loop, and I'll just choose places. So see that long polygon, let's break it up. And every time I add an edge loop, never leave it alone, immediately work with it. That is, double click the edge loop and make sure that you scale it and make it fit snugly. Wait. Yes, put it in the middle and scale it so that it is curved on to the body, and make adjustments as needed, further adjustments, and make it really fit and improve the curvature when seen from all angles. And that, likewise, I'll make one here, maybe one or two here, one or two, or maybe three here, one here across, and this would actually run across the length of the arm, which is great because I could use those extra vertices to shape this area, and then I'd add one or two here and one or two here. And as I'm placing these edge loops, I'm very careful of this area. I'd like to place one right across the eye and one on the edge of the eye and one on the other edge of the eye. So I'll use because I'll use the 4 polygons that I would have created here to work out the circle around the eye. And I can place edges very carefully by, once I've created the edge loop, by just using the slide edge tool. I can go to the options and make sure I've turned off snapping, so I can now middle mouse drag it and it'll slide beautifully across wherever I want to place it. I'll also when I'm scaling it, here's the time for me to double click this and say edit pivot and turn the pivot however I want, so that I can now scale along the length of that edge loop I created, or move it along the length of the edge loop. And at the end of that, this is what I got. I've added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 10 extra lines across the bird. And you can test its strength by just pressing 3. So you can see that when I go from 1 and 3, where I've added these lines, it seems pretty stable. And others that are super low res is just flopping about, and that's okay, because once we add more edge loops and it'll get more and more stable. So the strength of the profile is what we are looking at when we go between 1 and 3. That is, this is a preview of a smoothed version of the bird.